this is it. The real draft is right around the corner.
For me, in the top 15 of this draft, there are some serious players, and I can't wait to find out where they go.
The NFL Draft Week is here, meaning we have time for just one last first-round mock draft before the real thing happens. So, here it is, edition 8.0. Number 1, Carolina Panthers from Chicago Bears, Bryce Young. There's plenty of speculation regarding this pick when the Panthers acquired it from the Bears, but not anymore. Bryce Young is their guy, and with good reason. The former Heisman Trophy winner's size may be cause for concern, but he more than makes up for it with his arm, his athleticism, and his intelligence. He is the franchise quarterback that the Panthers have been searching for, and he is definitely the one that they should take with the first overall pick. Number 2, Houston Texans, Will Levis. There has been a lot of buzz surrounding this pick. Many believe that the Texans are leaning towards using it on a defensive player rather than a franchise quarterback, but we're not buying it. You don't get many opportunities to pick second overall in a draft where there's a number of QBs expected to go in the top 10. The Texans will not pass up on this opportunity, but they will create a bit of shock by taking Levis over CJ Stroud. The former Kentucky QB's monster arm is just too intriguing for a team that is in desperate need of finding Deshaun Watson's replacement. Number 3, Arizona Cardinals, Will Anderson Jr. Arizona's defense is a mess, with J.J. Watt, Zach Allen, and Byron Murphy all gone, plus all-pro safety Budda Baker once out. The Cardinals are about to embark on a massive defensive makeover, but taking Alabama's Will Anderson Jr. will quickly fill up several of their needs. He is the best pass-rushing prospect in this class, and Arizona cannot pass up on the chance to take a total game wrecker of his caliber. Number 4, Indianapolis Colts, CJ Stroud. Despite all the negativity that seems to be following Stroud around over these past couple of weeks, Indy would be thrilled if this scenario played out. For all the question marks that he comes with, Stroud is still arguably the most talented quarterback in this class. Between his arm and his elite mobility, he could be the guy that finally makes the Colts a contender again. Number 5, Seattle Seahawks, from Denver Broncos, Tyree Wilson. The Seahawks don't have many roster flaws remaining, thanks to John Schneider's tremendous showing at the 2022 draft. If there is one thing missing, however, it's help on the front seven. Adding Tyree Wilson to a unit that brought back Bobby Wagner and signed Draymond Jones would go a long way in turning this weakness into a strength. Number 6, Detroit Lions from Los Angeles Rams, Jalen Carter. Detroit GM Brad Holmes admitted that the club feels better about Jalen Carter after a visit with him. Not every club will feel the same way though, so let's pencil in Motor City as Carter's landing spot. Detroit addressed the defensive line last year by signing Aiden Hutchinson, and that worked out just fine. Adding another elite player like Carter to the interior D-line would be unfair for the rest of the NFL. Number 7, Las Vegas Raiders, Anthony Richardson. With all due respect to Jimmy Garoppolo and that 3-year contract, it's hard to buy the idea that the Raiders are fully sold on him as their long-term starter. His injury history and inconsistent production should have the Raiders concerned. Enter Anthony Richardson, who is raw, but also has perhaps the highest upside of any quarterback in this draft. The Raiders would have the luxury of allowing the former Gators QB to learn behind Jimmy G for a few years before he takes the reins down the road. And number 8, Atlanta Falcons, Devon Witherspoon. Atlanta has one of football's top corners in A.J. Terrell, but there isn't much to like in the secondary beyond that. Witherspoon is the best corner in a deep 2023 class, and he would immediately help turn this longtime struggling pass defense into a strength. Number 9, Chicago Bears from Carolina Panthers, Peter SKORONSKI. This would be the perfect scenario for the Bears. Trade down from the number 1 spot and still address your main need here by getting SKORONSKI, the most polished NFL-ready offensive lineman in this class. SKORONSKI would supply Justin Fields with a blindside protector for years to come, and he would contribute plenty in the run-blocking department. Number 10, Philadelphia Eagles from New Orleans Saints, Nolan Smith. The Eagles have football's most complete roster, so it's awfully difficult to predict where they'll go here. Georgia linebacker Nolan Smith could form quite the scary linebacking duo alongside Hassan Reddick. His pass rushing skills and big playability would supply Philly with yet another dangerous weapon on their already stacked defense. Number 11, Tennessee Titans, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Even if 2022 first-rounder Treylon Burks breaks out in year 2, the Titans still don't have any other receiving threats for Ryan Tannehill, or their next starting quarterback. Smith-Njigba is a burner who can deliver game-changing plays at any moment. The Titans lack speed on offense, but Smith-Njigba would quickly step in and give opposing defensive coordinators quite a headache as they try to game plan against him. Number 12, Houston Texans from Cleveland Browns, Lucas Van Ness. After taking a quarterback with the number 2 pick, the Texans need to focus on defense here. Iowa linebacker Lucas Van Ness is the feisty competitor that new head coach DeMeco Ryans would love to have headlining his front 7. Number 13, Green Bay Packers, Quentin Johnston. The Packers never spent a first-round pick on a receiver for Aaron Rodgers, so wouldn't it be funny if they use this selection on a pass catcher as they get set to transition into the Jordan Love era? Look, jokes aside, Love needs more than just Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs as pass catchers. Johnston averaged 17.8 yards per catch in his final year at TCU. You think Love might enjoy having him and Watson as his main go-to weapons? Number 14, New England Patriots, Broderick Jones. The Patriots could go anywhere here, but Bill Belichick knows there is a pressing need at offensive tackle with Asaya Wynn gone. Georgia's Broderick Jones would probably excel right away in the Patriots coaching scheme. Mac Jones's hopes of a turnaround in year 3 largely depend on better protection, which Broderick Jones would certainly provide. Number 15, New York Jets, Paris Johnson Jr. With Mekhi Becton's future in Gotham in question, the Jets should work on finding a replacement. Ohio State's Paris Johnson Jr. allowed just 14 pressures on 449 pass blocking snaps. He would be a welcome addition, and Rodgers will be ready to capitalize on this. Number 16, Washington Commanders, Christian Gonzalez. This might be a take the best player available scenario for the Commanders, and in this case, that would be Oregon lockdown cornerback Christian Gonzalez. The 6'2", 201-pound corner racked up 4 interceptions and 7 passes defended in his final year with the Ducks. Number 17, Pittsburgh Steelers, Osiris Torrance. Torrance didn't allow a single sack in his final season at Florida, per Pro Football Focus. He graded at 88.0 on the year and even yielded only 8 hurries and 698 offensive snaps. The Steelers have a good defense and enough skill position players for Kenny Pickett to flourish. 1 or 2 more upgrades on the O-line and they'll be ready to roll. Number 18, Detroit Lions, Brian Branch. The Lions had the NFL's 3rd worst pass defense last year. They did sign CJ Gardner-Johnson, Cameron Sutton, and Emmanuel Mosley to address that, but let me tell you, there is still more work to do. Alabama defensive back Brian Branch has future All-Pro written all over him. Number 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Darnell Wright. The Bucs moved on from Shaq Mason and Donovan Smith, meaning there are a couple of starting positions up for grabs along their O-line. Wright didn't allow a single sack in 895 snaps a year ago. The Bucs O-line went from a strength to a big-time weakness all in 1 year. Adding Wright to accommodate Pro Bowler Tristan Wirfs could supply Tampa with 2 long-term cornerstones in the trenches. Number 20, Seattle Seahawks, Kalijah Kancey. Nothing wrong with doubling down on the front 7. Seattle's defense was its main weakness last year. They need a guy like Kancey to hang in there with the top NFC clubs like the Eagles and San Francisco 49ers. Number 21, Los Angeles Chargers, Bijan Robinson. What's the easiest way to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? How about simply scoring more points than them? With Austin Eckler likely on his way out of La La Land, the Chargers need a new number 1 running back. So why not add the best running back prospects in Saquon Barkley? Defenses would have no real way of stopping Justin Herbert, Bijan Robinson, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams when they're all on the field at the same time. Number 22, Baltimore Ravens, Jordan Addison. The Ravens signed Odell Beckham Jr. to address their need for pass-catching help. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't take another wideout with this pick as well. A group of pass catchers that includes Addison, OBJ, Mark Andrews, and Rashad Bateman would give Lamar Jackson every incentive to re-sign with Baltimore and end this drama once and for all. Number 23, Minnesota Vikings, Hendon Hooker. This is the time for the Vikings to plan for life without Kirk Cousins. He is just not the guy that can win you a Super Bowl. Draft Cousins' successor, groom him for 1 year, and then hand Hooker the reins in 2023. Offensive mastermind Kevin O'Connell would work magic with a dual-threat QB like Hooker running his offense. Number 24, Jacksonville Jaguars, Joey Porter Jr. Cornerback isn't the Jaguars' biggest need, but they wouldn't be able to pass on an all-world talent like Porter Jr. if he's available here. Tyson Campbell showed signs of stardom in a breakout 2022 season. Add Porter to that secondary, and the Jags would really be in business. Number 25, New York Giants, Zay Flowers. The Giants made the divisional round without any true game-changing receiving threats last year. They already acquired tight end Darren Waller from Las Vegas, but now it's time to address the receiver position. The speedy Flowers would provide Jones with a reliable third-down security blanket and a dangerous home run threat. Could you just imagine Flowers, Waller, and Barkley as Jones's go-to weapons? Number 26, Dallas Cowboys, Michael Mayer. Dalton Schultz's departure leaves a gaping hole at tight end for Dallas. They can't expect to get over the playoff hump with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks as their only reliable pass catchers, which makes the Notre Dame product the ideal pick here. Mayer had 16 total touchdowns over his last 2 seasons of college ball. Pretty sure the high-powered Dallas offense would have no problem getting him involved, especially in the red zone. Number 27, Buffalo Bills, Brian BRYCE. The Bills will need some fresh juice on that aging front seven. BRYCE's motor and ability to generate pressure up the middle would make life a lot easier for Miller and Rousseau. Number 28, Cincinnati Bengals, Deonte Banks. The Bengals have a championship-caliber defense, alright, but imagine if DC Lou Anarumo had an actual Pro Bowl-level cornerback to shut down the opposition's top receiver. The 6'2", 205-pound Banks would provide more physicality to an already feisty Cincinnati defense. Think the Bengals could have used him on Cooper Kupp instead of Eli Apple in Super Bowl 56? Number 29, New Orleans Saints, Drew Sanders. The Saints had a top 10 defense last season, but they lost several pieces on the defensive line and still relied too much on Cameron Jordan to get it done. Now, just imagine if Jordan had his own sidekick. Perhaps someone like star Arkansas linebacker Drew Sanders. He had 9.5 sacks in his final season at college and would totally make some noise in Dennis Allen's defense. Number 30, Philadelphia Eagles, Will McDonald IV. The Eagles need to brace for life without aging veterans Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox on the defensive line. Iowa State's Will McDonald IV could be used as a rotational piece as a rookie before stepping in as a starter in 2024. McDonald had 33 sacks over his last 4 seasons of college football and could reach All-Pro status in Philly's loaded defense. Number 31, Kansas City Chiefs, Jalin Hyatt. The Chiefs haven't done much to address the receiver position since losing McCole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster in free agency. That has to mean GM Brett Veach has a move or two up his sleeve, right? In case you haven't noticed, Patrick Mahomes makes it work with a lot of receivers, and Hyatt wouldn't be an exception. He averaged 18.9 yards per catch in his final season at Tennessee. He has a deep threat weapon who could beautifully complement Travis Kelce and the KC passing game. But which prospects are you hoping your favorite NFL team will take on draft day? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.